Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So this is not going to go away. No one is going to shut anyone. The apartheid government tried to arrest those who are vocal, but the masses kept on rising. When you shut one, another one that's even much more revolutionary than the previous one comes up. It is in the culture of young people. So we hope that young people will receive this. I know that the NEC of the Youth League is meeting on Saturday to discuss a way forward on these findings. However, there will be appeals, and then whilst there's an appeal, I think they are allowed to still be members and lead, and then there'll be another appeal if that appeal upholds these findings, and then there'll be another appeal. And then we will see where it ends. At the end of the day, it might even end up, with the highest body of the ANC, where then it will be deliberated. But
we'll be watching closely. We'll be watching
definitely. Definitely. Look, I don't support any group. I don't support any group within the ANC. But as a matter of principle, I support young people. So whether it's Julius leading young people, or whether it's Floyd leading young people, or whether it's Jabu, I support young people, whether it's in politics, whether it's in business, whether it's in sports. I support young people.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for that. I just want to say, and you can comment on what I say. When you're talking about young people are impressionable. And when you're talking about a lot of young people who are hungry, they can be very angry if they're hungry as well. That's what you've said. They're burning. And that's why I do think that sometimes as a leader, if you are a role model to young people, you have to also be responsible for the words that you use. And while I hear you say that he uses other words that sometimes are not always reported, while he has a great understanding of what he's saying, where he's coming from, does he have the hate, doesn't he? Maybe a whole group of young people who don't know any better and who are very hungry are just, what it does is it burns the anger and it burns the hatred and it burns you're this color and you're that color. So while I'm not saying that is specifically what he is doing, and hopefully any leader of the youth, because you're talking about the youth, you have to be responsible when you're dealing with youth, because if they don't know any better, they're going to follow you in whatever direction, and whether it is burning or whether it is talking or whether it is educate or whatever it is, it's being very mindful of the responsibility that you have.
Yes,
with youth.
I definitely agree with you. You have to be responsible. But let me just indicate that most people undermine unity and brains that young people have. Young people are very united and they have brains. You see all these marches that have been happening of the Youth League in Joburg. You get young people being bussed from KwaZulu-Natal, Northwest, the Free State, Eastern Cape. They come from all over the country. And how they get to these young people is because these young people have leaders in their branches, in their regions, in their provinces. So when there's issues of misunderstanding, these are deliberated within the branches. Comrades, right. This is not what the leader is saying. The leader is saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So the message is communicated.
The message is communicated properly down. It's communicated properly to young people. But if you don't understand the politics of the ANC and the ANC Youth League, you wouldn't understand that there is that communication. That is why there's never been banning. That is why young people have never banned white people's properties. That is why young people have never come in and say we are taking over land by force. Because they understand that the leadership is saying, let us debate. Because they are the ones that give the leadership the mandate from the branches and say, look, this is what we are not happy with. A branch will come and say, in the Eastern Cape, we are struggling with land redistribution. And KZN, they will say, the same applies to us. You as the leadership need to raise this issue of land redistribution. And then others from the cities will say, economic development, we are unemployed. You as the leadership, this is your mandate. These are the issues that you need to deal with. So they mandate them to go and so it is not from up,
Top down.
No,
it's from down up.
Yes.
Okay.
It's from, so young people are the ones that are telling them. So they know exactly what Julius is supposed to be saying. That is why when they say it, when he says it, they support it because it's what he represents. You understand what I'm saying to you? That is why they respond to his marches. That is why whether he's charged or not charged, young people are still behind him because they have instructed him to do that.
Okay, we've got a couple of callers. Hi, good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
This is Jeff speaking.
Hi, Jeff.
I attended an address by the Vice President where he said one of the biggest problems facing the nation is that there are 2.8 million young black people uneducated and unemployed. I'm sure a multitude of these are part of the Youth League. So my question is, why doesn't the government institute a national call-up, a conscription, not a military conscription, but a civil service conscription, where these people come to... I'm sure there's a fortune of available camps around South Africa from the previous regime, and where these people can be trained in discipline, trained in languages, trained in a multitude of skills, from farming to traffic control to ambulance to CPU to whatever it is, that will make them employable. And the question is, what will this cost the government to do this? And the next question is, what is it going to cost them not to do this?
Jeff, thank you very much. You can put your phone down. Kenny's going to respond.
I think that's a brilliant statement and question. You can ask that question again. Why is government not doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Because you see, what makes young people angry, it's not the success of black people through tenders. Who must get tenders if black people don't get tenders? That's the way government is empowering black people. But I think that is why the Youth League is saying, let us nationalize mines. And when they speak about nationalization, from my understanding, they are not saying take over existing mines and make them government mines. They are basically saying, and this happens in Norway, it happens everywhere else. They are saying, if you say you don't have enough capital, instead of having Kunene as a BEE partner in a mining deal with investors from outside, rather have government as a partner so that profit comes to government, not to an individual or not to 5 people or 6 people, so that money comes to government. When you have that money from the mines, you can then use that money to train young people, to employ young people, to create jobs, because you are saying you don't have. So that is basically, and if you look at Norway has nationalized its oil. Everyone in Norway, it's a small population, but those people know that in time they will be wealthy. So I think these are the issues that the Youth League is raising, exactly that question that he's asking. And if these young people continue to be unemployed, to have nothing, look, anger builds up. And by the time they are growing up and other young people are coming and are complaining, they will then say, look, we have been trying to talk. Talk doesn't work. When Nelson Mandela became a leader as a young lion, he said to the previous leadership, you guys have been talking to the apartheid government. These people are not listening. Let us have a military wing so that we can. So
he did.
So there will be those that said, you guys have been talking, but we are still unemployed. So now we need to take over. You see, I will make another example. I hope that answers the question. That is my fear, how young people are going to react. I hope they will not ban. And you must remember, the police force now is made up of MK cadres. Metro Police is made up of MK cadres, amongst other people. They are made up of young people who also come from their townships. Some of the people that march for employment are their brothers and sisters, are their cousins. So it might just be a difficult one to deal with when that time comes.
Very interesting, Kenny. Are you a whiskey drinker? You
Yes,
are. All right, tell me the label.
I never sell any brand that doesn't pay me. Even on my show, on my reality show, I blare any branding, because corporates need to understand that celebrities have got a following, and that's marketing.
It's an endorsement.
Yes, that's marketing for them. So if they don't endorse us, I will never ever sell
So
anyone.
are you going
but I drink whiskey.
Yes.
And I always say that I don't commit statutory rape on whiskey. I don't drink anything under 18.
Okay. So listen, you're going to go to the festival. You can taste 128 whiskies.
I've been there.
And no one will be confused because you won't be endorsing any of them. You'll be enjoying all of them.
No, I was there last year, and I think I'll make a turn maybe tonight.
There's going to be a lady there. She's French. She's living in Scotland. And she is a connoisseur when it comes to food and a connoisseur when it comes to whiskey. And if you are lucky enough to attend her workshop, she's going to tell you what food goes well with whiskey and what food doesn't go well with whiskey. See, I've just given you an idea. Just another thing to add to your schedule.
Yes.
Kenny, it's been wonderful having you in the studio. Congratulations for winning those awards, and just thank you for spending time and having this chat. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. I just want to add to say, Jewish people own business in this country. And I think they must also try to get involved with people like us so that we can give them ideas on how they can assist these unemployed young people, just to give them an opportunity. I took my child goes to a Jewish school in Lindest because I want her to be able to get into the
Kenny?
Jewish mind.
Mazel tov. Really? Oh, wonderful. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you so much for that. 101.9 Chai FM, 2 minutes away from 12 o'clock. It's been a great show. I hope that you have enjoyed it as well. We do have a winner on the line for today's hamper just before we do say goodbye. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Who am I talking to?
My name is Mervyn.
Hi, Mervyn. So listen,
Hi.
Mervyn, do you enjoy a good glass of or tumbler of whiskey?
Sure.
Fantastic. So you have been, you are the winner of the Glenmorangie and Velpre hamper, and you've got tickets to go along to the festival.
Thank you.
So well done.
Nice.
Well done, Mervyn. I'm going to put you on hold and Lee's going to get all your details.
Okay.
Thanks for calling and have a good day. Wonderful. So it's just a minute away from news at 12 with Danelle. Then, of course, Ivor Blumenthal will be in the studio, and I'm sure he's going to be trying to work out suspended sentences, suspensions of suspended. That's with Ivor Blumenthal. Then we have Soul to Soul. It's been a great show. Tabs, thank you so much for driving. Lee, thanks for a good show. For me, Niki Seberini, until tomorrow, goodbye.